Want to make a mask but don't have supplies or a sewing machine? I have a solution for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. There's always room for. My name is Kim, and today I'm going to teach you how to sew a face mask out of pajama pants. I think pajama pants are the perfect clothing item to use because there's plenty of fabric, there's a drawstring tie, and there's also elastic, so you can cut these up and you'll have everything you need for a face mask. If you want to learn how to sew a face mask out of your pajama pants, follow along. So before we get started, I wanted to let you know that I initially planned this to be a sewing tutorial, but then I changed my mind and decided that I should make this a no-sew tutorial using a hot glue gun so those of you who don't own a sewing machine can make a mask as well. So in addition to the things that I'll be listing next, you'll also need a hot glue gun and a few hot glue sticks. You will need a pair of pajama pants, floral wire, which is optional, a ruler, some sewing pins, needle nose pliers, wire cutters, a rotary cutter if you have it, and scissors to cut the fabric. I like having an extra small pair of scissors for cutting threads. You'll also need a cutout of this pattern, and I'll link that below. First, we're going to want to cut off the waistband of the pants using scissors. Separate the components of the waistband by cutting through the fabric to expose the elastic and the drawstring. Here I'm using a seam ripper to release the elastic from the fabric. If you don't have a seam ripper, scissors should work just fine. So this elastic is a little wider than I wanted it to be. The typical elastic for these face masks is about 1/4 inch wide, and the elastic in the pants was about 1 inch wide. To make it easier for myself, I decided to cut the elastic into thirds lengthwise. Now that we have the straps for our masks, we'll want to start cutting fabric for the masks. Start by cutting the pants in half. Take one leg of the fabric and fold it in half. Place your pattern on the fabric. Depending on the size of the pants that you're working with, you may have enough extra fabric down the side to make matching straps. You'll need a width of at least 2 inches down the side. If you have the extra fabric, go ahead and cut it. You'll notice that the fabric is not connected at the bottom edge. That's because I cut along the seam before laying the fabric down. With the pants folded over in half, you will have 4 layers of fabric on top of each other. Use the pattern to cut the pieces of fabric to the shape required. Do this as many times as possible using the pair of pants. If you don't have a rotary cutter, you can pin the pattern to the fabric and use scissors to cut. Each mask requires 6 pieces of fabric. Align the fabric right sides together. You're going to want to glue along the curved edge of the fabric and repeat that for all 3 pieces. Try your best to draw a straight line with a hot glue gun using even pressure when pressing down on the trigger. Press the 2 pieces of fabric together, being careful because the glue is hot. Here I'm using a pencil to press the pieces of fabric together. Repeat for all 3 pairs of fabric. Once the glue has cooled and set, you can turn the pieces of fabric out together, and you can see that the glue acts as a seam between the two pieces of fabric, taking place of sewing. Take one of the layers of your fabric and fold the short end over twice, about 1/4 inch each time. Press the fold down with an iron. Now use the hot glue to draw a straight line down and close that edge. This piece of fabric will serve as your filter pocket piece. Align this filter pocket piece with another piece of your fabric, right sides together, and pin in place. Repeat on the other long side of the fabric. We want to glue a straight line along the long side of the mask, top and bottom. The next step is optional. You can cut a piece of floral wire to 6 or 7 inches. Loop the ends in using needle nose pliers. And pin that to the inside of the mask. Now take your final piece of fabric with the seam side facing towards you and line it up with your mask. Pin it in place. Now you'll want to glue along the long edges of the mask. If you added the wire nose piece, be sure to add glue on top of the wire to secure it in place. Be sure to glue only the top long edge and the bottom long edge, leaving both short left and right edges unglued. Once the glue has cooled, turn your mask inside out so that the right sides of the fabric are now exposed. Push the edges of the seams out and press down with an iron. You'll want to do your best to avoid the areas that you've glued so you don't further melt the glue with the iron. Now take the short open edge of your mask and fold it in about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Press down with an iron. And repeat on the other side. Now it's time to choose your straps. For the first example, I'm using elastic. Cut 2 pieces of elastic 7 inches long. Insert the elastic about 1/2 inch into the mask. And secure in place with hot glue. Loop that same piece of elastic into the mask and secure that piece with hot glue as well. Repeat this on the other side. Be sure to seal the entire edge with glue. The mask will fit nicely over the pointed edge of an ironing board, and you can iron the surface of the mask. If you want to make straps out of the fabric that you cut earlier, take that fabric and fold it in half lengthwise. Press down with an iron. Now take each edge and fold it into the center crease that you created. This should give you 3 evenly placed creases along the fabric. Fold along the center piece and press. Because the piece of fabric was initially 2 inches wide and you folded it in half twice, your strap should now be ½ inch wide. Glue along the open edges. You will need 4 evenly cut straps, 14 to 16 inches long. Glue those straps in place. And finish the edges of the straps by folding them over and gluing. Repeat on the other side. Along with gluing the straps in place, be sure to close off the open edge of the mask using hot glue. And here's the final product. This is the mask that we made with matching straps. And this is the one with the elastic from the waistband. This is also the one that has the wired nose piece. I was surprised at how well the hot glue kept the wire in place while still remaining flexible. So there you have it. Now you know how to make 2 different kinds of masks out of 1 pair of pajama pants. One that has elastics, one that has straps, one that has a wired nose, and they both have pockets for a filter. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!